I want you to bring to mind, to your heart, a moment in your life when you felt alive, awake, energized. You felt that you were right there where you needed to be.
Hello, friends. And in preparing for this intention setting, I could literally hear Mark say, intention is everything. So I am honored to be with you now. And since this one mountain is around unique gift, I want to combine two words together as our intention for this week. And the words are unique gift and practice. The first sentence of our code that our beloved David will resonate right after this goes as follows. Your unique gift can be given in the way that you can give it, by no one else that ever was, is, or will be. And basically, this sentence is a practice in itself, as this intention setting is a practice for me right now. So in this one mountain with Claire's workshop on unique gift, I want to offer an intention on the importance and the skill of practice. In the Eastern traditions, the three jewels are core: the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. The Buddha, I think we are all familiar with this historical figure. We need Buddhas for sure. And we stand for the democratization of enlightenment. The point is that it's totally possible for you. Dharma, the teachings that have infinite potential, as we at One Mountain define these as first principles and first values. The Sangha, the band of outrageous lovers, as we love to call ourselves. It's the community of people that have realized and lived these ideas. And that, my beloved friends, that requires practice. Practice has many faces. And for instance, the Cambridge Dictionary says kind of dry, practice is something that is usually or regularly done, often as a habit, in a tradition, or as a custom. That doesn't sound very appealing, right? That sounds like the practice that you never want to do. Now let's see if we can find some more eros, some more warmth there. Abraham Cook writes so beautifully. An epiphany, for most of us, through deep practice, an epiphany enables you to sense creation not as something completed, but as constantly becoming, evolving, ascending. This transports you from a place where there is nothing new to a place where there is nothing old, where everything renews itself, where heaven and earth rejoice as the moment of creation. We do want some of that, right? Dr. Mark is transmitting so passionately and amazingly first principles and first values. And of course, he is a genius with a brilliant mind, and Goddess has gifted him. And yet, what we should not forget or overlook is that his teaching, his transmission, is the fruit of his decades of study and practice. And he still accesses it through humble and continuous practice. The quality that I sense in our core community, our band of outrageous lovers, is that we have well-seasoned practitioners coming from various traditions and walks of life, which is amazing. And we must also never forget that how seasoned we are, practice never ends. The Dalai Lama says, as all the Buddhist traditions say, we need to practice until our last breath. Mark speaks from his mystical tradition that we need to get the Dharma in our toenails. That speaks spoke the first time I heard it, but it still speaks so deeply to me. And it requires fierce practice to get it until in those toenails. Ultimately, practice will spill over into your day-to-day life and refine it. Yet you will have to find our unique ways to have practice infuse our daily life and go through our unique challenges that will shape our unique gift so profoundly and uniquely. Because practice needs to go into the marketplace. Its task is to evolve our world. The fruits of practice belong to our future, to create that world that works for all. We again and again are invited to practice, to bring the new fields of understanding into our actions. We are always invited to open up to a more intimate realization, a sweeter taste of existence, a more subtle and tender nuance in our endless evolving being. So I would like to bless us with the knowing and the realization that even if we have practiced 1,000 times before, may we open ourselves again, innocent and fresh, deep and mature, and receive in wonder the intimate nuance, the sweet flavor, the subtle taste that she is inviting us to in this holy moment. Amen.
And hello, friends. Wonderful to be here. We're entering now a field of practice. And as our beloved Chahat pointed to in her beautiful intention, practice is everything. Practice is where we bring this Dharma home into our bodies, into our lives. So welcome to our field of practice. For the next 20 minutes, we're going to engage in an inquiry. An inquiry, a process of inquiry that is going to take into the magic field where our unique gift lives. And the way we'll do this is that I'm going to ask questions. And so if you have pen and paper handy, you can grab it and you can write on your pen. You can also write on your phone, on your computer. Just make sure that you have something to write. And the way to hold the questions that I'm going to offer is a very light way. You don't want to edit or correct. Just trust that what comes to you is perfectly enough for now. So don't edit, don't correct. Just allow for my words to inspire you, and I'll keep talking. Well, I'll ask a question and then I'll just explain more and clarify. So don't let that stop you from writing. And yes, trust the process. What I want to say about these questions before I start is that this is a psychoactive process, meaning that I'm going to bring some questions, and these questions will continue to live in you after this writing exercise. So we are initiating something here that is going to continue after this little time together. I'm going to ask you to write for about 12 minutes, and at some point we'll stop, and we'll hear from a few voices in the chat box. We'll open for a few shares. So let's start. I want you to bring to mind, to your heart, a moment in your life when you felt alive, awake, energized. You felt that you were right there where you needed to be. And that could be a moment, like a unique situation in your life that was something that happened just once. It could also be a situation that happens often in your daily life. So it could be very mundane. It could be a pleasant memory, but it could also be a difficult, complex situation. sometimes we feel very alive and energized in situations that are difficult to navigate. So, yeah, just allow for a situation to come to your mind. And whatever it is, just trust that it's good enough for now. And start to feel that situation. So I'm going to ask you now to observe that situation from different angles. I'm going to guide you into it. So let's start from the inside of the situation. So feel it. Feel, as I suggested, that you feel alive and awake, but what else are you feeling? And how does that feel, to feel so alive and awake? What's the interior? What are you accessing from your interior? So maybe there are some emotions. Maybe there are some sensations in your belly, in your heart. Expansion, gravitas. Yeah, what do you feel from the inside of that situation? Maybe there are some thoughts from that place. So whatever you access from your mind, from your heart, from your belly, your body, from the inside, anything that's subjectively happening to you right now in that situation is something you want to capture. If there are people that are involved in the situation, tap into the field that's between you and them. What's happening in that field? And now, of course, it's something that you feel as well, so it's subjective to you. Yeah, so what do you feel in that intimate field between you and others? If there are others, or an other. Maybe there's an open communication, maybe it's closed, maybe it feels intimate, maybe it feels distant. As I said, it can be any kind of situation. Just tap into that interior relational field. We call it we space. And now I'd like you to step out of the situation and look at it from the outside. So you're stepping out and you're looking at the situation as if you were witnessing it from the outside. So you're looking at it. What do you see? What are the things that you can see in this situation? Maybe you're hearing things. What can you see as facts? Maybe you're doing things. Maybe there are some actions, facts that are implied. And check also how you hold your body posture, your breathing. So you're trying to capture as much as you can of that unique moment that you chose. You're trying to taste it again and feel it again, feel its texture and taste its inner taste. And what you know is that in that moment, you felt alive, energized, with something there that plugged you fully into your sense of aliveness. And look around and see what space are you in? What is the environment like here? How do you feel held or not held by the space? And try and capture that too. Capture as much information as you can from this example. And now imagine that this moment in time, this situation, imagine it had a voice and it could speak to you. And it could say, hey, I need you right now. Hey, here's my invitation to you. Imagine. What would it say? What would be that invitation? And just invent it, imagine it. Don't try and figure it out. Just write something. Or maybe it's an image. Maybe it's a sensation. Don't edit anything. Just capture whatever comes to you is good. That field, that moment, and the space between you and the moment that speaks to you, this is your unique field of intimacy and desire. This is your unique field of intimacy and desire. Now, let's let go of that example. And I want you to consider another inquiry, another question. Consider what breaks your heart again, again, and again. What breaks your heart again, again, and again? The great master, Buddhist master Thich Nhat Hanh said once that in order to heal the world, we must first hear her cry. But as we know, as Dr. Mark always tells us, we are unique selves. And each one of us has unique ears to hear those cries. Each one of us hears different cries. The cries that I hear are not the cries that Christina hears, or Krista, or David, or Chahat hears. We all hear uniquely the cries of the heart, of the world. So what are the cries that you hear? What are the cries that crack your heart? And feel into these cracks, because that's where the light gets in, as we know. And for this, please make it as personal as you can in this moment. I'll give you an example. For me, often when I tap into that question, what really cracks me open is to think of the 30 million refugees in the world that are walking the earth right now. There are 82 million refugees in the world, but there are 30 plus million that are walking on the earth, that are not being relocated. So they're actually don't have a fixed place to live. And that cracks me all the time. And half of them are children. 15 million children walking on the earth without a place to live. And the way I bring it home, the way I make it personal is by, even for a few seconds, feel into, well, I feel into the little one inside, the child inside that doesn't feel home, that doesn't feel it has a home. So that's how you bring it home into your heart, because it's always unique to you. what cracks your heart. And it starts here. So as you keep writing and feeling, I'll leave you a little more into this consideration of what cracks your heart uniquely. And now consider this. Your unique gift, the medicine that only you can give, that can heal the corner of the world that only you can heal, lives at the meeting point of these two things. On the one side, what brings life to your heart most deeply, what animates you most deeply. And on the other side, what cracks your heart most outrageously. In this meeting point of these two, there lies the unique frequency of light. That is you, that is your gift, that is your medicine. That's the magic field of practice. As Chahat beautifully invoked earlier, that place is the place where you play, where you're invited by every moment to give your gift, to be your unique self, to be the light that only you can be. So as you continue to write, or maybe you're quietening down now, allow the words, the impressions to slowly come to a rest. And just trust that these questions, they've started a process that will continue. This process has touched a light in you, and now it has been ignited. And maybe you want to bring a hand to a part of your body where you want to anchor this, or maybe where you feel most touched. So it's good to feel the body now, to bring it home. Maybe it's your belly. And if there is an image, an impression, something that is offered here, allow it to rest a little deeper. And we're going to close this inquiry process with one deep breath coming from deep inside the belly. As deep as you can, bring it into your chest. And let it go. Completely feeling your feet on the floor, feeling your butt on the chair, fully here. And now I'd love to hear from some voices. If you want to write in the chat box what came up for you in this process, I would love to hear. We cannot open it to the space with voices, but we can hear from you in the chat box if you want to share how this process was for you, what came up, what came more clearly. So I'm seeing that there are more. Oh, okay, scroll up. I'm being told to scroll up. Okay. Yeah. An invitation to be present and that I can trust myself to be offering my gifts, says Chahat. Suzanne speaks of the heart of neglected children that break her heart. Yeah, children. I'd love to hear a few voices about the meeting point. What comes out of that meeting point, which is where the practice of unique gift lives. Wonder and amazement, says Jamie, when I feel merged with the cosmos in a participatory way. Yes, Jamie. My meeting point is opening up in surrendering to she and giving my outrageous love to my heartache. Beautiful. So friends, thank you for your sharings. And I want to say again that this process has touched something in you that you can trust will continue to move in you if you stay with it. As Chahat said, it's a practice. So as much as you can, try and bring these two together. Notice when you feel energized and alive, and notice what breaks your heart, and allow your heart to be broken again, and again. From this place, that very intimate frequency in you can spread in the world and as your unique gift.